Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Greg here again with the first part of the Meng Whippet build. Obviously when I did the unboxing, you've seen all the instructions quite nicely laid out, nice booklet form. It's the first time I've ever built anything from the sort of World War I era. I have a couple of the EMAR kits, of the tadpole and of the hermaphrodite, so they will get built as well. I thought I'll just try this Meng Whippet first, so let's have a look what we can do first. There's a bit of gumph and a bit of history. It's all in Chinese or Japanese or Korean. The first page, we say Chinese. Then we have a bit of English about it. It's quite a long read. Oh, it's quite an interesting read actually. I've read it a couple of times. It's quite interesting. It's made with the sponsored by sort of the Tank Museum in Bovington. Put their input into it, so it must be quite accurate. I can never say that. And then obviously we have the usual sort of thing. There's two options. It says there are two options for this model as shown in the drawings. Please select one before assembling and refer to the paint schemes for the details. So I've chose one, and we can start off by, we'll stay straight into the tub on this one. There we are. It's a one-piece tub. I've put that part on already. That first part, and then I forgot to set the record button. So that's that first part there. This is part one, all done. That's no problem. And then we're starting with the casement itself, which is quite an unusual build. You have to actually bend the piece, which is A9, and tells you where this has to be bent. It has to fit into that sort of angle on each side. But there's quite a deep score line down, so you don't have to really force it. It just bends naturally, but don't go back and forth. Obviously, it'll snap. Obviously, this has to be done. All the little internal details for the machine guns to come out. 1, 2. We can do all that. We'll do 3, which is carrying on with the casement again, but on the other side. It's fairly straightforward again. And we have the lid for it, and the little bracket piece. And these are the sub builds again for the end. Oh, sorry, you can't really see. Sorry, I'll have to do it again. Obviously, we're starting again on the other side of the casement. Fairly straightforward, and then we're on to the rear of it. So they've got a sub assembly here, and it gives you a choice there between not having the. It must be a viewing port, or not having one at all, so it gives you the two options. I've gone for the one with the viewing port, so I drilled a couple of holes. There we are, and there it tells you to drill a couple of holes, so I went for that option. And then this part here and this part here, it becomes one section, which then goes to the reverse of the turret. Sorry, the casement again isn't a turret, it's a casement because it doesn't twist. So we'll go to there, I think. Well, may as well finish the actual casement off, and then we'll go to page 5. Section 5, which is basically a little grab handle, a couple of plates on the top, and then it's telling you to position the casement onto the lower hull. And then we're putting at the bottom of the lower hull on there as well. We'll go to step 5 to start with. And that's basically the casement made then, and then we can start thinking about the the add-ons and the front part and the transmission. And this is a fuel drum on the front, which is a pretty unusual place to have your fuel drum, but there you go. So we'll go to number 5. That's what we'll do. So right, I shall crack on with it then. So I shall leave you here, and we'll be back. Well, P seconds for you guys, but it'll be probably a day or so for me, as I have other things to do as well apart from modelling, unfortunately. So we'll catch you very soon. Right, back again ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know if I can't remember what I said, if I was going to go to 5 or 6, so I've gone as far as 6, but I've made the machine guns up but I haven't put them on because normally I break them, so they're all made up, cleaned and ready to be installed a bit later. Painted them first. I think I'll paint them first and then install them. And also I've got the exhausts, they're ready to be coloured separately as well. A slightly different exhaust, one each side, so they're all ready to be primed as well. off the tank, obviously. I haven't put the outer circles onto the machine guns because for obvious reasons. So we've got all that done. So let me just show you where we are and how it went together. So this is where we are at the moment. We've got basically the whole shell done, really. Bottom, top. I think that's the fuel, because obviously it rides that way. So that's the front, and I'm almost certain that's a fuel. There's like a fuel cap on there by the looks of it, but it's a bit strange place to put your fuel, but hey ho. And obviously the engine and the fighting compartment at the back. So it's almost like it's going to ride quite high. The fit was fine. Just as you can see, I want to put a little bit of fillers around little edges. They're just minute gaps. Probably if I'd sprayed it with Mr. Surfacer 1000, you wouldn't have even had to use that. It's been interesting to build the actual casement because you had to bend some parts to fit in, but they were already scored. You just had to bend them, you know, not viciously, just thinking don't keep going back and forth, but they went in quite nicely. There was that part that I had to bend, and I think it was this part at the rear that we had to bend as well. But you see, it went on quite well. There's no major fit issues or anything like that. The bottom's on. That fitted beautifully, the bottom. There was no issues at all with the bottom. So I've added the engine cowlings or grills, whatever you want to call them, both sides. I might regret putting the small grab handles on yet. I'm not too sure. I'll have to see how we handle the things. So I think that's where we are at the moment. So if I pop that there, so let's have a look on what the next piece is going to be. So we're on start on 7. So we're actually going to start on the running gear next. So what I'll probably do is I'll put all the wheels together, start assembling. But what I'm going to do, there's no glue needed on the wheels, but I'm going to spray this back plate black, and I may even spray the wheels on there black as well, because obviously it's going to be quite enclosed, and you might not get the paint in there. There's nothing worse than looking through and seeing a great big bloody, you know, pale colour off the original plastic. So that's what I'll probably do. I'll probably make all these up and spray them, and then where are we at after that? It's need to put them together. Yeah, and then so that tells you the layout on the bottom. Sorry, can you quite see that? That's the layout, because there's slightly different wheels on the bottom. There's a drive sprocket and the return roller, and then we're coming up to 9. As you see on 9, so left running gear assembly, left running, and then obviously we have on the outsides of the other part of the sponsons, we've got the return rollers as well, which go on, and then this will have to be sprayed as well, I reckon, inside and out, like a mud chute, I presume they are, on the side of the sponson again. So this is going to be a bit unusual, different from me, because I've never had to do a tank where I've had to spray the inside just to be on the safe side instead of, you know, in case I can't get into it. So we'll make all the wheels up. We'll get them all primed in black, both sides. So we'll do both sides. This is all left, and I presume, and then we have the right. So it's a mirror image. So what we'll do is we'll do left side and right side, all sprayed and ready primed. So that takes us to 12. So that takes us to 12 with the running gear again, the return rollers again, and the mud chute. And then it wants you to, you know, place the top of the on top of the sponson like a running gear, a running board as such, I suppose. And then we have to place them onto the main hull. This side, we'll have to see when I've done it how it fits and what I need to paint black, because I want to keep it obviously for the glue to attach it better than when painting it all. So we'll go up to step 13, and then we'll stop, and then we'll see what number 14 is like, when and if there's any fit issues with the wheels or anything else. So I think it's where we are at the moment. So it'll take quite a bit to do that, but we shall carry on. And so far, I think it's a lovely little kit to build. It really is a nice little kit to build. It's not overly engineered. It's just nice. See, I just don't want to put these machine guns in their holes, because as soon as light as day I'll break them, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, so it's it's only a small little vehicle, medium tank or light tank. I think it's a medium tank. But standing it against the actual Mark IV or Mark V, it's as long. I would have said it's not quite, well, maybe not quite as long, but you'd be surprised how big it is against the Mark IV or Mark V. I was quite surprised. So I had to use a bit of the old, sorry, that's what I used, the plastic putty, the Vallejo stuff. Brilliant, because it's water based, so you just put it on, get a cotton bud or whatever you want to call them, and just take it off. And there's no need for any sanding or anything like that. So I haven't used a lot of it, but just in the little bits and pieces. Right, so I think we'll call this the end of update 1, and then we'll start on update 2 with the running gear and the side sponsons and all that kind of stuff. So it's Greg signing off, and we'll catch you on the next update.